welcome back to the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's going on? We are we're in it. Fall.
We've got
Post-Halloween. We're done with Halloween.
Now we're on to the countdown to your favorite holiday.
The best holiday of the year, Thanksgiving. A huge dating relationship holiday.
Yeah.
If we're to keep it you up centric, that is when relationships get strengthened, when they get ended, when people reach out of the woodwork, getting a little cold, I'm lonely, who should I talk to? Oh, there's that person I had that connection with over the summer. It is woodwork season as well as breakup season, as well as, this is the initial cuffing phases of, oh my God, I'm in a relationship. This is, I would say, the seasons, we talk a lot about the seasons and how they affect the dating lives of people. I would say this is that one of those, those points,
Right. Interesting. I guess, are you saying if you're seeing someone,
right?
Thanksgiving's around the corner, gonna decide.
It's also you have people wondering, how do I keep up momentum? They're going home.
Will I be invited?
Will I be invited? How do we keep the text conversation? We've gone on 2 dates, but I kind of like them. They seem like someone I want to hone in on. And are they honing in on me? It's just this seems to be the time of year that people are really feeling the dating. It's almost like there's instability in the market. Stability comes, I would say, January till Valentine's Day. That's a stability time.
I feel like it feels like a time when things are not exciting though. No one really wants to be dating.
A little boring.
Yeah.
I mean, holiday time, we said it's fuck season. That, especially in New York City, people are out.
Yeah.
It's
they're
holiday
drinking,
parties,
they're
drinking,
yeah.
They're saying, I don't need the gym,
Right, or I'll stop seeing
more.
this guy who's bad for me next year.
Right, I'll put it off. We'll get to the new year. Maybe things will change. It's just we are hitting into the volatile dating season, and this is why I love doing this podcast. Every year, it's very similar, but things change. All these, there's I love that there's never a dull moment in the dating world and a relationship world. If you're seeing someone a year, it's okay, whose house do we go to?
Right.
Which family is the A family? Which one's the B family? Oh my God.
Separate Thanksgiving?
Separate Thanksgiving.
What does that mean for us?
Right. I heard you talking about this girl on Oversharing who doesn't want to take her vacation days.
Yes.
For the other family. I was
what was your take on that?
I would have dumped her immediately.
What?
You can go and I'll see. That was the suggestion from you and your sister. I couldn't believe it.
You would never, if you had 4 days off and your wife's my family's going to the Jersey Shore.
Here was my takeaway.
You're going? Zero chance.
I'm not in that relationship to begin with. Here's where it came back to.
What do you mean?
Here's where it comes back to.
You're not in that relationship to begin with.
We're doing the Jetsons meet the Flintstones because.
Well, it's so funny when we disagree. It's always about these family dynamic things, which is funny.
So go listen to the October 29th episode of Oversharing, the Betches segment of the episode. It's a great episode. I loved it. Great listen. You guys always make me feel calm and at ease on a Tuesday.
Except for when you get mad at us.
Well, I'm not mad as much as I was thinking to myself dating wise and what am I looking for? And I'm thinking of would I ever be with a woman at that stage of the relationship where I wasn't sure how we'd handle my parents and their family vacation thing that they do every year, because that was the premise. They always book way in advance and it takes away her days off. And I'm that's fine. But I was thinking when we get to relationships and it seems as though, and I'm not trying to be too kind to men, but I'm I'm just saying.
Warning.
It seems as though women are get me in the relationship and I'll figure the rest out along the way.
Of course.
Because it's all these, and again, I'm.
But that's how everything is, right? Let's say if someone said to you, Jared, I want you to be the lead in the new Transformers movie. You're
Okay.
like, okay, let's just say, right? I'm saying you're the woman
Why
in the
the new
relationship.
Transformers movie? Okay.
I'm just throwing that out
big
there.
Franchise, big money.
I don't know why
I
it was
agree.
the first thing that came to mind.
Listen, Megatron, let's go.
That's
okay.
fine. Okay. Someone's like, Jared, I want you to be the lead. The lead funny guy
Me?
in the new Transformers movie. What would
you already backed off the lead. Now I'm the sidekick funny guy.
Would you say, well, I've never really like acted in a real Hollywood movie before. You know, you've done a little bit of work here and there.
I've done some
Fine.
acting work.
But okay, I don't know how to do any. I don't know how to do any stunts. You'd say, oh yeah, I'm in. I'll figure it out
later.
Let's do it. I'll figure it out. Whatever I need to do, I'll figure it out because this is like something that I want. This is a big opportunity for me.
Right. You're not wrong. It is, I guess, like if you're to gender this, like, are men doing, and we do have an email that's kind of on this subject to start off the episode. Mm-hmm. But are men doing career first, I'll figure out the rest later? And are women doing relationship first, I'll figure out the rest later? Because
maybe
when I was hearing this email, and again, my data is skewed because we're dealing with a mostly female audience. So like, I'll admit to like the holes in my argument, but I'm saying when all these emails come into oversharing specifically, because oversharing, it's like women writing to two women with like, this is such a problem I need to write in. And like about like someone they are married to and in it with. And I'm just like, look, you don't have, like, I couldn't believe that I could be with someone where we're married for what, I don't know if they were married, but I'm saying, if I was married to someone and my parents were like, hey, Aruba's booked for February and we're sitting in October and I'm like, and they're like, we got the room, you're going to be in the room next to us, we're going to be on the do a week in Aruba. It would be unbelievable to me that I'd be dating or married to someone that would look at me and go, you say yes, and I'm just going to be a maybe right now.
But the thing is, though, like when you say that, it's like if it were reversed and your wife's family was like, we're going to be in Aruba on these dates 6 months in advance.
Right.
I don't think you would be like, oh, of course I'm there.
I would have vetted. I feel like I wouldn't have gotten into it with a woman where it would be such like.
Where she has a family.
Where she has.
You're looking for.
I would know that about what I'm getting.
Looking for an orphan in finance.
Right. I just feel like I would know it wouldn't be such an issue for me that like I would have to change the dynamic. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it sounded like in this scenario, the woman had gotten that far. Like, she's like, we always do this every year. I'm sick of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I can't believe I'd be married to someone who would be like, enough with Aruba. Like, to find that out 2 years in, I'm like, man, did I not know this person till now? Like, am I being fashioned into, like, was I just a vessel?
Is that your fear?
Yeah, I guess I am. I'm
being
speaking
like bamboozled.
I'm speaking my own fear, and I'm saying this with a little bit of I would feel that men would feel similar to me.
Okay.
Where it's like my fear of getting in a relationship that I am just a guy to get you to relationship island, and then we'll figure out the rest. And like,
so what though?
I don't know. So what? Now I'm like,
so what? If you like
fighting
them,
with
if
someone
you like
over
them,
going
so
on
what?
a vacation or not? With
you think you're never gonna fight with someone that you're with?
I'm sure I will. I'm trying to mitigate the fights before. I want to know the fights that I know will be coming when I'm in the relationship. I
think you're talking about an extreme though. Like in the extreme version of that, yeah, you marry someone who's like pretending to be someone else so that you like them, and then somehow you get all the way to marriage while they're pretending to be this other person, right?
Right.
I think that's not realistic. Is it realistic that someone's maybe on their best game in the beginning and then as they get more comfortable with you, their true self comes out? You usually discovered that before marriage, but also like you're going to fight with anyone you're with if it's a good relationship.
I'm with you, but like I guess on like the list of important things to me, like okay, when there's an event, my whole family shows up. No questions asked.
But that's to you.
To me, this is something that's important to me. Mm-hmm. Would I be married 2 years where this is so important? Like, to me, like, if it's not important to that guy, like, it shouldn't be that big a deal. They should be able to talk about it. Like, hey, we do this, like, family thing every year. You and I got to work together. Like, you know that I don't like going, and I know you're like,
or like we can
whatever
go
about it. You know, like, I know that, like, the house, like, we always complain about the house. Can we figure out how to get out of this year? Like, I feel like when it's written into the email, like, or to the podcast, I'm like, how are we this far apart on this subject is my, I guess my fear is more like, not that I'm like, it must be so important to that guy that she's like, I got to talk to Jordana and Naomi. Like, how am I going to break it to him? I don't want to use my vacation. I'm like, he's got to be closer to me. Like, to me, like, I'm going to take, like the woman taking a nap on the day that the parents come.
Our
I'm like,
views are so, but it's also like your background. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's so, to me, that's so not black and white. It's so very much like what is important to you and what you've clearly laid out like early in the relationship.
Right. And I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that I'm like laying these things out.
Yeah.
And shopping the right section of the, prospective relationship store, like
that's why people date a while before they get married.
Right. To see what it's like to go,
to do all these, right. To get into all these things, to see what happens when you want to go away with the family.
Right. I thought it was so interesting because I was like, I guess I don't ever see myself being with someone that I'd have to like, okay, I'm going to have to like trick them into.
So you're going to be the alpha family then?
I don't know. Based on my text conversations with my family, like, I don't know how much I could really, going to want to be around them, like.
You just said you have to go on vacation with them.
No, I'm just saying, if I'm in this scenario where like we do this yearly vacation and it's 8 months ahead, and I just can't imagine being married to someone who's like, well, yeah, you can go.
So I don't see why. Maybe. I don't see why that would bother you. Don't you always talk about how you want someone who like doesn't ever see you?
No, well. I guess, to me, that would be a depressing place to be in a relationship. Like,
it depends. If she was like, oh, you go because, like, your mom fucking sucks, so I'm not going to be there. That's one thing.
Brutal, yeah.
I'm saying, but if she's
then I'm living uncomfortably all the time.
Right. But if she's like, you go because, like, your parents are great and I love them, but, like, I've got this trip that might happen with my friends, and I want to go more than I want to go with your family.
When I listened to Oversharing, I kept imagining going to my parents and being like, hey, I'm in for Aruba. Stacy's a maybe. And my mom being like, what? Like, as if that would be the end of the conversation. Is like crazy to me.
Right.
Like what? What do you mean a maybe? And I'd be like, Stacy might have a trip with her friends.
Right.
She's not going to come with us? Is there a problem? She doesn't like us?
I guess that's also like your family dynamic. My family dynamic is there's so many people everywhere all the time, and it's Naomi's family dynamic too, that we don't even notice if someone is there or not.
This is my point,
we couldn't tell you.
This is my point. This is something that, like, I can't believe they're dealing with married. And again, it got me back. Yeah, it got me back to, are women just like, get in there.
Right.
And then take off that shirt. It doesn't go. And then, I don't know, sports on Sunday? Fuck that. This is a tropey conversation. I understand this is,
but I think it's your job to say early in the relationship, much like Tim, I guess, said, but didn't give her a chance to rectify. This kind of thing is like, and again, I don't think it has to be right or wrong. Because I don't think like, going away on a yearly trip with someone's family is like, such a thing that it's like, of course everyone would want to do this and should want to do this.
Right.
I think it's more like specific to that person, and saying that pretty early on. You should ask all your first dates. If my family had a trip and you had limited vacation days,
would you take them to?
Would you go?
Yeah,
and you could say that's like kind of a thing for me, and I don't think that's wrong if it's a thing for you. But I don't think it's like, it's a given that of course it would be a thing.
Well, it's just so funny how hard relationships are. Like. That's been said since the beginning of time, but like my family has no relation to vacation days. Like, I've never
no one has ever worked in an office.
No one. Well, my dad was an entrepreneur, salespeople. Everyone was a sales.
Right.
The idea of like,
so you don't understand that PTO life.
No, I've not even and my grandparents.
What about your brother?
I guess he's more in
that now. Your brother
now.
Can't take off the whole football season.
No, now he's in it more, but even that, like, when I talk to him about his stuff, like, it doesn't sound like you're just, like, working the whole season. Like, there's no, like, maybe
right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Next week. Yeah, I don't know. I just, he doesn't even have the option for PTO during season.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
Like, yeah. So
that's zero
it is,
PTO.
Right.
But that would be like, her, let's say Ruthie had a family trip during football season.
Right.
What would happen?
No,
he would say, you go.
Right.
I can't go.
I'm
can't
out.
take off. Isn't that the same scenario?
Well, I guess that's already been, but they were dating through that too.
Well, let's say they weren't. Let's say this was a new job that he got after they started dating.
Right. But again, the discussion of like, here's what comes with this job. Are you ready for those things that we have to like give up?
Right. And what was she going to say? No, like, let's get divorced because you need to be on the family vacation.
Relationships end. The relationships end. I don't know. It's I remember I dated someone where we went to my parents' house, and I remember she like had to log in and out of work. Like there was like, and she wasn't wrong. Like it was like, I got to be on the computer at 9 and I got to be off the computer at 5 and like until 5. And my mom, like, it was like, what's she doing all day? Like it had no concept. Right. And like, I remember having to like, look, no, this is called work.
Right.
You know, like,
so funny that no one in your family has ever worked in an office.
They've worked in offices. It's sales.
Not for anyone.
Right. It was like, eat what you kill. You know, like my dad used to sell liquor and beer and wine, and it was the family company then. And then he was like, worked, and my grandparents, I'm thinking of like my mom used to be like, was a personal shopper, but then stay at home mom. And then, my mom's dad like sold rags, like
rags.
Yeah, like in Detroit, like the sticky cloths that would clean off cars, like.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it was like the auto.
Very niche.
That's that back in whatever, like the textile times when.
Interesting.
You're making rags, I guess. That's how I knew it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm speaking out of my ass, but.
Yeah. Anyway, I think relationships are about compromise.
Yes.
But if there are non-negotiables, and again,
right, but the compromise comes before, like,
right,
yeah.
Well, it's like my conversation with Mike about raising our kids Jewish that wouldn't come up 2 years into marriage.
Right, I just couldn't understand the idea of like, you've been doing this vacation. She's like, I've had it. Like,
sometimes you do have it.
Right.
Sometimes, I mean, like I have thoughts on like sometimes the way families do things. I'm like, maybe we could do a few tweaks here and there.
Right. I
talk about this with the gift giving.
The gift giving. Yeah. I guess you try to like, life is a cruise ship, not a speedboat. Like it to me, like the harsh turn right is so much like crazier.
Right. I just think like I agree that women are more willing to be like, we'll do it and I'll figure it out when we get there. I agree with that.
Figure it out in editing.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. Do you think it's a bad thing for you in career stuff? Because that's always, I think, how you think of it.
Yeah, I guess I do. I would like to be as best prepared as possible, for what's coming up. Like, That's
what I'm saying. That's why you're like, okay, I'm willing to like compromise. I'm willing to do some things. I'm willing to take a trip every other year.
I guess so. Well, I guess that's part of the reason I'm not married. There was no, the idea of putting a relationship on the same level as a career,
right,
was not something that I was willing to do. And some people are okay with that, and even for me, that didn't feel good.
What didn't feel good?
To date someone, and like I've had people I've dated where they're like, I know I'll never come ahead of comedy. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Like,
isn't that what you just said though?
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, I guess then we should break up then. Like, I don't want to be in something where someone feels.
So
like,
what do you want their attitude to be?
Well, maybe I'm not ready then. This is me being told.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, you're telling me I'm not ready, so I guess you're right. I'm out.
But if they were
she broke up with herself.
But if they were like, like I really actually would prefer you give up this show to come to this event with me, you'd also be out. So what is it?
Right.
They just can't say anything?
No, this is me having the conversation. This is the look in the mirror. Yeah, like I'd say, I guess I've come to a conclusion. Well, we didn't even talk it out. You did. We did talk it out.
Right. Well, then
I'm not saying this is easy.
Yeah, no, it sounds easy.
What are we talking about today?
Today, it's quite hot.
If you're out there in St. Louis, come to a show. St. Louis. Hey, St. Louis. If you know someone in that area, let them know. I'm also going to be Tarrytown. The first show sold out. Second show. We tape both shows. So when we make a special, you tape both shows. So both shows are the taping.
Yes.
And Dania Beach and Portland, Oregon and Rochester, New York, as well as Australia.
Ooh.
Get ready, koalas. I'm a-coming.
Jared goes down.
That's right.
Under.
On Australia.
Yes. And everyone there. Beware. All right.
What are we talking about today?
I'm going to read our first email. Are you ready?
I like this email.
It's good email. It's good email. Hi, Jay and Jam.
I have some ideas for this person.
Ooh, creative.
That's right.
It's a creative energy.
Good thing I put all my time into my work.
I don't have any time for
I got no time. I got to write my funnies.
All I have time for is work and vacations with my mom.
I can't believe the listeners at home have no idea. My mom has made her way into this podcast universe in a way.
She has. Should
we should tell them?
Okay.
We had an episode planned with Logan Urie. Logan came down with voice issues, which
she lost her voice.
Yeah, that's pretty important for a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do a thing. Let's call this a tease. I was gonna sign up for Logan's dating coaching session.
Yes.
And as I've put myself on the line for you listeners in the past, I was gonna do it again. When I got my tarot cards read and I got
the things you do for these people.
Yes, when I put, that butt plug in to let your boyfriend know that he should do it too. All these things, okay? And Logan part of Logan's thing is that she has to get in touch with people you've dated as well as family.
Family, me.
You.
As well as people you've dated, your family, and your podcast co-host. It's part of the run-of-the-mill coaching.
As you do.
Right.
So Logan was getting in touch with all these people to prepare for this bonus episode. It's going to be a bonus episode.
We're still going to do it. She's coming back.
We're still going to do it. She's coming back. So sign up for You Up With Benefits. It'll be part of the benefits, and it'll be like a hybrid between a Friday Feels episode and a benefits episode.
Yes.
So make sure you sign up. But so Logan has been contacting my mom and running into issues.
It sounds like a sitcom episode, her trying to track down your mom.
I mean, should we read the text from Logan?
So funny.
That are like, here are the texts from Logan that she sent this morning. So after all the texting with your mom, we had an appointment Monday night, and when I called her, she told me she was hungry and couldn't talk. I said, that happens. She goes, and then Logan wrote, yesterday she called me to tell me she couldn't talk. She called Logan to tell her she couldn't talk. And then
this is someone who's never worked in an office before.
No, yeah, this is not office behavior. And
this is not a calendar invite kind of lady.
No. Let me put it on the calendar.
Has your mom ever had a calendar invite to anything in her entire life?
No, that's why it's so funny to me. The idea of like Logan like setting up a time with my mom, like this isn't how it works. She either picks up before it rings, like my mom's like looking at the phone ready for a call, or just never at all. Like it's like
that makes sense. Yeah.
She told her favorite bagel place in Boca, and then I guess it's been
the fact that she called her to tell her she couldn't talk is so funny.
So funny. So
I think it's going to be a great episode. Logan, I have to say, is the most prepared and diligent person I've ever met in my entire life.
She really went to work.
And I think it's going to be a really interesting episode. Jared's taking one for the team. He's going to get coached.
I'll get
live
coached
for you guys, people, which is a very intimate thing, just like when we had Kelly on to do the tarot readings.
Unbelievable what I do for you guys. Okay.
All right.
Let's do this.
Let's jump right in.
Let's jump
again.
Right in.
Hi, JJ. I'm a longtime fan of the podcast and appreciate your advice so much. I've been out of the dating scene for the past 6 months. I had moved to a new city last year and tried to take advantage of the new girl energy and burned myself out on dating apps for a bit. I injured myself last week playing pickleball. Feel like such a statistic. Hello, 30s. And I finally went to a doctor to get it checked out. Little did I expect a cute orthopedic fellow to walk in and help me forget about my knee pain.
Ooh.
What a meet cute.
Yeah.
I don't think my injury is going to be a big deal, but I may need one follow-up appointment and then go to physical therapy. I noted no wedding ring, and a quick LinkedIn search showed he's new to town as well as of the summer. Would it be so weird to connect somehow when I'm no longer a patient? Have I gone so long from feeling any chemistry with someone that I'm getting excited for nothing? I want to know if it would be cringe/creepy to connect on LinkedIn or Instagram, or do I wait to see him on an app or out and about, etc. Thanks so much for your advice. I'm 33 and trying to gauge whether having a crush on my doctor is an okay time to be bold, or if this is totally inappropriate and let it lie. If he likes me, will he violate HIPAA and find me? Sincerely, stalker or meet cute.
I love this email because it lands in the category of like biggest deal to her, not a big deal to anyone else. Like
as all these,
right.
yeah.
This is like the pleasure center of You Up podcast universe. Like
right. She's got a little crush.
she's got a little crush, and let me say to her, good for fucking you. I'm happy for her.
Nothing makes you feel quite so alive as a little flirtation that might be mutual.
Right. This is the fun of being single. Love it, live it, own it, bathe in it. Like this is like
possibility.
Like, the possibility. You met a doctor that you find attractive. Like it's just like I love this email because like I want to like look at her and go, let's do a little dance. Like I want to
just for being here.
Just for being here.
Yeah.
You this is great. You
did it.
You had a vibe, you know, like you know, the temperature in the room is felt by all. Like I don't believe for a second that this guy was unaware of the pheromones that were going on in this situation. All that magic, you know, woo-woo shit, it exists.
Energy.
I've had that happen so many times where like I make an eye contact with someone and I'm like, and then like 2 hours later,
it's usually a thing.
Right. And 2 hours later, we're like talking and I'm like, I knew this would be it. Like
right.
I knew this was like.
It's like the opposite of the I knew you would cancel.
Right. I knew you would fuck me. Like that's like.
Right.
And so I do want to like encourage her to like, and especially the listeners, like, you know, sometimes it's so much easier to talk negatively about dating and never going to happen. And sure, this won't happen. Sure, this probably won't happen.
Could.
But it could. But this isn't the weirdest thing in the world, the weirdest way to meet. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, take a moment, take a breath. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I saw someone
had a nice moment.
Yeah, let's take the win. Small win. I had a good conversation with a cute person. Right.
Yes.
So what do you think?
I think wait until your next appointment is done.
Yeah.
Finish your rounds with this guy. Make sure you're like done with seeing him.
Well, also see if the second interaction is as good as the first.
It's another good thing to note. Maybe he was just in a good mood that day.
Yeah, you don't know. Maybe he just took off his ring to wash his hands.
You never know.
You just don't know.
Right. Okay.
Next appointment, maybe he goes, ugh, my girlfriend's down my neck. You know, like, you don't know. Maybe we get more information.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say same thing happens again. There's an energy there. I think she's on the right track. I would Instagram DM him, say, hey, I'm your patient. Was your patient, no longer. Just gonna, you know, I thought we had a really nice interaction. I'm not sure if you're single. If you are, would, you know, love to hang out sometime.
You and I, total agreement. She has to message him. She has to go to the second appointment, finish out whatever it is to finish out, feel it out again, see if there's that vibe again, enjoy it, love it, be happy that you had the thing we all dream about is meeting someone out in public that you have a little thing with. Beautiful, all that stuff. I agree with your DM suggestion. Right. Let's go to Instagram. I think that's like the casual, fun place. Instagram is a dating app just as much as Hinges. That's fine.
Agreed. And I think especially it's okay for you to make this move because I think it's weirder for him to do it. He feels a little power control, like dynamic. The dynamic would be weird if he made the move.
This is to go back to, if you listen to the beginning of this show, which maybe some of you don't, the insecurities of men, you know, a lot of times land in their like job. Right. You know, like, and, you know, the idea that like love will conquer all is not really where a lot of guys, where my head goes. So like, wow, I really had a weird, nice moment with that girl also like the idea of like sex too. Like, you know, this guy who's at my most empathetic and sounding kind of icky, like he's your orthopedist and he's like, ugh, I want to fuck that chick. Just don't do anything stupid. Okay. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh my God, there was a thing, we could fall in love. It's like, oh my God, don't fuck her.
Are you sure he's saying we could fall in love?
Well, it's in the spectrum of possibilities, but like I think a lot of times it's like, you know, if you're not thinking of love and you're
just thinking of the next step.
Right. You're like, that next step only gets me in trouble.
Right. And it would get you in trouble.
Right. Right. But if you think of a guy as like a more physical, you know, like beast of sorts, you know, and he's basically walks in that room and is like, be a good doctor, be respectful. Wow, she's cute. Don't fuck up.
Right.
And it's not, oh, what could be between us? Like, it's more like, I got to make sure I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and keep the job, because the job gets you more women like her.
Right.
You know, like, if you think, like, evolutionary wise, you know, like, I'm watching The Golden Bachelorette, you know, all she talks about is, oh my God, all the boxes she wants to check from the older men are, can retire, like, can have fun, can move, physically able and monetarily able to do fun things. Those are her 2 boxes to check.
That seems like those are the 2 big boxes in dating over a certain age.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of men as animals, what do I need to protect? My ability to maybe one day not work, and my physical ability to, like, move.
Right.
Not fall in love.
Yeah.
So if you think of it like, and I'm talking out of my ass. I'm no evolutionary doctor. I'm just saying, like, that's how I'd be thinking.
Right.
Like, cute girl walks in, we had a thing. We'll see. So, yes, she should DM over Instagram. I wrote some DMs. Options.
Okay, let's hear them. And this is, you can write this down, not just for this person, obviously. Anyone, tweak these to make them your own for someone that you met that you want to DM?
Well, I did it a different way this way.
Or not?
Well, my mind, I did it differently because I am face-to-face with many DMs because I put out a lot of my work on Instagram.
You get a lot of horrible DMs.
This is my point. It's a lot of women who their only goal is to be bold. They don't care how they're bold. They just want to be bold. That is a win for them. So do you want to date or do you want to be bold? Is my question. You want to date.
Right.
Okay, so here's the first one that won't work. You ready?
Won't work. These are the no's.
Here are the no's. Hey.
No.
Nuh-uh.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck out. That's too dangerous. All you are is someone
Not
leading me in. I'm saying, what's the only thing that could ruin my life? A woman. So hey on its own, not enough info, especially
not
if you're...
Not enough, no info.
Well, I get haze all the time with the account that the avatar, the picture is a flower, and it's,
right.
You know, and it's private. So you need to let this guy be on the same level as you. So I'm advising towards open profile, but if you can't do that, that's okay for this scenario because you have met in person.
Right.
Here's another one you shouldn't do. Thanks for working on my leg. Want to go to work on this fine piece of ass?
Has anyone ever written something to
I
you
get
like
very
that?
versions of this all the time.
You get like something like that?
Something like that. You're trying a little too much too soon.
Okay.
Don't do that.
That sex forward?
I don't like it.
I'm saying
it's like a trap. Too good to be true.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I guess you're a pretty good doctor, but I've had better.
That's crazy.
I get shit like that all the time.
Well, you're a comedian.
Yeah, you're kind of funny.
Okay.
Let's see you in person. No.
Okay. It's crazy the amount, like, you do get so many of these, and like they're all so insane that I'm just like,
I'm helping the same people that wouldn't do this probably, but I'm just advising.
Right.
That's what this podcast is for.
Let's do it.
Okay. Here's another one not to do. I fell asleep hugging your LinkedIn profile on my laptop.
Hugging your LinkedIn? Too much?
Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
All right. Be chill.
Be chill. You seem like a red flag, but maybe I'm a bull and I'm going to run right through you.
Okay.
That's too much.
Weird. Yeah.
Little of a neg, you know. I've never felt the way you made me feel in a doctor's office.
Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
Okay.
Do we have a go?
Here's the go.
The go.
Ready?
Okay,
and
here's
it's
the go.
very similar to what you said.
All right. Let's two normals coming up with a DM. Let's hear it.
Hey, this might totally violate HIPAA, but it was really nice meeting you. I'd love to get a drink if you're up for it. Here's my number. Totally not offended if you're seeing someone at the moment. Just felt a nice vibe from you.
Should she remind him of who she is or no?
Yeah, that might help. Hey, great to see you. Maybe Tuesday. I'm the girl who got injured playing pickleball. I swear I'm not 80.
Right.
You already know that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cute, flirty, fun.
Yeah, like a little, and also hat in hand.
Yes.
You are coming to their door.
Little vulnerability.
Yeah, you're the missionary who's trying to get someone to sign up for your religion.
Yes.
I didn't come to your door, okay? So a little hat in hand, a little humility goes a long way. Hey, play off the pickleball injury.
Okay.
And here's my number because, again, some people would be like, well, that's not safe. He's a doctor where you've already met in person, so I think it's actually more normal to be
I
like,
agree.
here's the number, do with it what you will.
And then let's do some examples
Okay.
of no's disguised as unsure.
This is the hard part. Okay.
That are unsure but disguised as a no. Let's hear
Yes.
it.
Okay. Ready?
Or no's disguised as other things.
If he keeps it in the DMs, it's over.
Never doesn't text. Okay.
If it stays in
Doesn't
the DM,
use the number.
If he doesn't move from DM to text,
It's a no.
It's a I'm still feeling you out, and probably a no.
Okay.
If it's yeah, we should definitely hang out sometime, no plan.
Also kind of a no.
Also kind of a no. Him also probably dating someone else. Him maybe dating someone else, but they're not official. He's holding. He's hovering. He's in a holding.
Right.
pattern.
Well, what do you think the reaction to being put in that holding pattern should be?
Well, I think it ends the conversation. I think that's a great question.
Right.
If I was a woman dealing with me where I'm like, hey, we should hang out sometime. That sounds like so much fun. That's me saying, okay, I'm going to collect the acorn for winter. I'm going to make sure I don't lose the FPA. Fine piece of ass.
Okay.
I take it in. I hold on to it. Men love vague options.
Right.
We never want to go hungry.
Okay. So if I'm looking for a relationship,
hey, hey, that sounds great. We should hang out sometime. Your response, the volley back to me, the pickleball back to me is, you've got my number. Make a plan, and I'm in.
Okay.
No more conversation. No more. What's happening today? What are you doing today?
I think save that one because that one's a good one to respond to any kind of vague.
Any vague answer. You've got my number. Make a plan, and I'm in.
What if it's totally? We should definitely hang out sometime. What are you up? What are you watching these days on TV? Like, what if they're just like trying to continue the conversation without making the plan?
Let's repeat that one again.
Like, oh yeah, like it was great to meet you. We should definitely do something sometime. Like, so like, how was your weekend?
Ignore the question.
Just ignore it.
Ignore it.
Okay.
I ignore shit like that all the time. I think it's totally fine.
Okay.
Hey,
I like it.
Great.
Your permission from Jared to ignore.
Ignore. How was your? Now here's another question you might get back. What's the plan this weekend? That's a fun one I always do.
Do that?
Yeah, I want to. Let me get you talking about the weekend.
Okay.
What's the plan this weekend? Because and then you give your whole plan, and then they go, sounds great, I'm around too. Like, they don't give anything back.
That's so annoying. I hate sounds great, I'm around too.
This is a real thing.
That's the worst. I've gotten that before.
Yeah? Okay. Now you're really playing ping pong. Now you're rallying.
And then I think you do. Then you go back to right. We should make like a little diagram, with the arrows.
It would help people. One of those things where I can.
What's the plan this weekend?
Right. You can use it like one of those blackjack.
You got my number.
Percentages, what you hit, what you don't hit. What's your plan this weekend? You got my number. Make a plan, and I'm in.
You got my number. Make a plan. I'm in. All things of vagueness. Come back to that.
Make a plan.
I love it. Some practical advice for you guys.
This is totally practical. It would work on me. There's nowhere else to go. You got the
right. And if it doesn't work, you didn't really want to go.
No. And also, it's just not the timing for that person. They know, now they have all the tools at their disposal. Let's say a month goes by. Make a plan I'm in is still
okay.
Still okay. It's still a button they can press. Does the button work? I don't know. You might be in something at that point. Maybe you meet an orthodontist that, tickles your fancy.
You never know.
So. Okay, let's go to an awkward encounter. I love the awkward encounters. This is a good one. I really feel like this is one of our all-time best episodes.
It hasn't even. We're not even.
I am already. In. I don't know. Something about today's. We've had good dating talk.
Yes.
Like if I was listening right now and I'm on my phone, I'm on my walk, I would share this with a friend or
several friends.
Send
to the group chat.
The group chat.
Story.
I would also rate, review, subscribe. We love those.
I would do it all. I would stop and buy a ticket to one of your comedy shows.
Listen, I wasn't even going to go there. Thank you. But I feel like this has had some real world advice.
Yes.
And taught and vulnerability. We've both talked from our hearts.
Yes. Giving you everything.
J&J, longtime listener and subscriber here. This incident, which traumatized me for capital years, took place when I was a junior at a boarding school. Did you know anyone that went to boarding school?
Maybe in college, met some people who went to boarding school, but I don't think I have any friends who went to boarding school.
Weirdos. I don't know. Boarding school to me
feels very rich.
rich and also like, I don't know. There's just like, what was
your
that
parents,
like? It's like an alien universe to me.
like your parents send you to college like 4 years early.
Right. They just wanted to get rich. Were you a bad kid? Like,
I think there's some parent. I feel like it's more common maybe in the city. Like I feel like there's some parents who are like, I gotta make money and I can't have this kid here
running
like
around.
asking for shit. So I need to send them somewhere where someone else will take care of them.
It always feels like you're like putting them on a road to like being an adult too soon. I don't know.
Well, it's like when camp isn't enough. Sleepaway camp isn't enough.
My kids are home for 2 months out of the year.
Yeah,
like if they do it all, you know, I don't know. Good for this ride. Well, thank you for being a subscriber. I just called them a weirdo. I didn't mean it that way.
We know you can afford it because you went to boarding school.
It was a warm day about a week from graduation. I had skipped my class to meet my boyfriend, who was a senior in his dorm room. Right, like you're a, what is she, a junior in high school skipping classes?
Nice.
My pearl clutching. We smoked some weed and got hot and heavy right away. I was a little stoned and very into the hookup, so when I heard a knock at the door, I thought I was hallucinating. My boyfriend jolted up, shushing me. Was someone at the porch door? When I heard the knock again, I grabbed a sheet off the bed and headed towards the door that led into the inside hallway. We'd skipped class, and I figured no one else was home. However, when I pulled the door open, my math teacher, she puts in parentheses, Bobby.
Their first name basis?
Very boarding school to me. I don't like any of this.
Bobby is also not a name that I would have as an authority figure.
No, Bobby the math teacher?
Right?
Yeah, I don't...
What boarding school is
this? This is like out of like a movie about boarding school. Like, why is the math teacher in your living quarters?
Yeah, what is he going to find you and you're like home?
Right. Doesn't he have a class to teach? Was standing in the hallway. I was fully naked with the sheet in my hand, my boyfriend still lying exposed on the bed behind me. I shrieked, slammed the door, yanking on my clothes and stumbling out onto the porch. Why is she running onto the porch naked? The last thing I heard through the open door was my math teacher reprimanding us and my boyfriend firing back, "Come on, Bobby, men have needs." What? How do you
sounds
speak
like
to your
camp.
teacher?
Right?
Yeah, I don't.
Very weird.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I blacked out on the run
What
back
boarding
to my
school
dorm.
is this? Let us know.
Yeah, we gotta know where to not send our kids.
Yeah.
The next morning, I got called into a meeting with the dean of students and my advisor, and I had apologized directly to my very uncomfortable math teacher.
What a narc.
Right. As my boyfriend was graduating in a week, he naturally didn't get in any trouble at all. I was at school for another year, and it was never normal with that math teacher again. Love you guys. What do you think of this?
This is crazy.
Horrifying. I feel for her. No wonder she was traumatized for years in capital letters.
Yeah. I mean, your math teacher at your door, like a bedroom, just feels very...
This
doesn't feel like that should be.
Well, this is to me like, you know, it's funny, like the bubbles we all operate in. Like when you're at a teacher at a boarding school, like you're just waltzing around campus, like shushing people out of bedrooms and stuff, like,
right.
And you feel like
military
that's okay.
School,
right? I don't like. I'm almost. I don't like any of this.
I wouldn't like this at all. I also feel like the only thing she should get in trouble for is skipping class.
Right.
What she's doing while skipping class, I don't know. I guess maybe there's rules against sex.
Being in the boys' dorm, I guess.
Whatever,
you know, you would separate.
Why is he going to look for her in the middle of class?
Why is he in the boys' dorm? Is he like the RA?
What's wrong with Bobby?
Bobby's off.
Right?
Why is he working at a boarding school in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a job that, like, I guess if you're going to be a teacher...
Which you would never know anyone like that.
I wouldn't associate myself with those people. I don't know. What
if someone was a professor? Is that okay?
Are they like a working professor? They do were
it's
brought
a professor.
in. I don't know. Sometimes
they teach like classes.
No, but do they have a business that they profess on the side? Is that?
That's like the. What do you mean?
They're like a college professor?
Yeah, like a college.
I think I'm out.
Still no? That's like prestigious.
It's not about the prestige.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know.
It's about the time.
I guess
how busy they are.
It's the busyness. I don't know. You got to
You're
live
impossible.
in college. I am
Want them to have
impossible.
enough free time to go on vacation with your family every single year.
How many PTOs do they get?
But not so much free time that they're a prestigious professor.
Right. Yeah. Well,
it's tough
to find someone out these days.
It's hard to find people.
Yeah, this is awkward. The boarding school of it all is just like such a world I don't know.
Same. Yeah.
You know, for me to not know how a math teacher ends up on close to your bedroom.
In college, they wouldn't be at your dorm.
You have an RA.
Yeah.
I guess that would be the closest, but even our RA, I don't even remember them existing.
And I feel like the RA wouldn't, like the whole teacher-student like dynamic, you wouldn't have like the teacher policing the student outside of the class. It would create an awkward...
Yeah, this is like the private school, boarding school world where like you hear about like the teachers that they have and it's all a little too friendly. It's all a little
sketch.
Too, yeah, it's all a little too like I want my teachers 80 years old, big, you know.
That's how I want my nannies.
Right. Nannies and teachers
Right.
should be 80 with a big cotton ball swab hair.
Yes, absolutely no social life.
Strict. Yeah, you never see them out in public.
Yes.
Remember you'd see the teacher out, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was always weird.
Bizarre. Yeah, I want them just tucked away in their cupboard inside the classroom.
Yeah, I have a picture with like a statistics professor from college. That was like a young statistics professor, and I think it was like slope day, which was like the big party day.
I'm familiar.
At school.
If you know anyone from Cornell, they love talking about slope day.
We do. I don't know why. It's like the one. It's the one fun thing. It's the one fun thing.
Who was the famous person that you hung out with? Like everyone that went to Cornell has a story. Like, oh yeah, Snoop was at my slope
something
day,
like that. Yeah,
we hung out.
Pussycat Dolls, I think, were there when we were there. And there was a statistics professor that was always like the fun young professor. And then like I was out with my friend and I were in his class and we were like out on slope day, like completely drunk. And there's this picture of the two of us with him and he looks like very happy to be like, and then now I look at it like older and I'm like, this is like kind of a creepy picture.
Right. But he was like probably 27.
Like a nerdy 27-year-old.
And you're 22.
Yeah, and we like
it's not like
see
that.
him out on the quad. Yeah. No, it's
you're
not
like
that weird.
Hammered, take a picture together. You're like, what?
Yeah. I got to find the picture. I'll show you.
All right, let's go on. Let's do another email.
All right.
Go for it.
Hi, J&J. Love the pod. I'm a benefit subscriber and appreciate all you do. My boyfriend and I both just turned 30 and met a year and a half ago in Boston.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, to both of you. Everything was good for the first year. We had fun. He was really loving, and he made me feel special. Ooh. However, about a year into dating, we started fighting more. This all started when a guy friend from college moved to Boston. We've always been platonic, and there have been no flirtations ever in our history. When my friend moved, I offered to get coffee with him to welcome him. I thought this was a nice gesture, but my boyfriend got very angry with me about this. To him, he felt my guy friend disrespected him by saying yes to coffee, and he admitted he resented me for having a group chat where this guy friend and I text. To be clear, the group chat has 5 friends from college, 3 women, 2 men. We mainly just gossip about other people from college. That sounds kind of fun, actually.
It's a fun text chat.
I tried to reassure him that there was no reason to think anything was going on. He said he trusted me, but not this guy. He asked to meet my guy friend so he could confront him as a man for crossing lines in our friendship.
He just sounds like he is literally from another time.
Yeah.
Not this man.
Not my woman.
Not my woman. I'm going to confront him as a man.
Yes. He said my friend must be in love with me and he didn't want to look like a fool.
I smite thee.
Look like a fool.
I will not look like a fool from this man with beautiful abs and a great job. Like he really sounds.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds flattering to this guy friend, I feel like. I tried to avoid the issue and my guy friend for a while to give my boyfriend time to cool off. This made my boyfriend more suspicious of me, and he said that by not introducing him to my guy friend, I was making myself look guilty. He asked me to stop talking to my friend until he felt more comfortable. When I said no, he got angry and said I wasn't validating him or his needs. I was worried if I did introduce him to my guy friend, it might go badly. And it did. My boyfriend met my guy friend at a party last weekend and confronted him, saying that he was a bad person for being my friend and should know that he can't be texting a taken woman. He threatened him and essentially asked my friend to chill with the texts and our friendship. It made me feel like a piece of property. I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend because of the outburst was so public and I felt so embarrassed and hurt. My guy friend still hasn't spoken to me since. I need your advice. Was my boyfriend acting jealous and insecure, or was I not respecting my boyfriend's feelings? What's normal in relationships when it comes to friends or the opposite gender? Did I mess up? From Boyfriend No More in Boston.
How do you feel?
Definitely didn't mess up. This guy sounds very scary, her boyfriend.
Right.
Here's the thing. It's okay. Let's just say that this guy is feeling a little insecure that our new old male friend moved to town and his girlfriend asked him to get coffee. That in itself, okay, I can understand why someone would feel a little insecure.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself is not a big deal to me. The way he handled it is, of course, the deal breaker.
Right. It's like, I don't know how to say this. It's like not the cover up. It's not the crime. It's the cover up. It's not the emotion that he's feeling that we're disagreeing with. And I'm with you. I think he handled this horribly, and she made no mistake ending it with someone. He's just too immature to be in an adult relationship, it sounds like.
Right.
No, it's
and
not.
that is embarrassing.
Right. It's not we're not like saying he shouldn't feel jealousy. That's a human emotion.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying that like
this is not how you handle it.
Handle the jealousy. And listen, nobody is beyond handling their jealousy bad. You know, like that can happen.
Sure.
But like you're right. Like the wording she put, these were quotes that she's using. Like the taken woman and confront him as a man. That's why, you know, like to me, this guy sounds a little Andrew Tate-ish. Like it's a little.
And I agree that it sounds like she's a possession,
right,
which would be a turnoff to me also.
Right. That's why these like, you know, these alpha male podcasters, like if you take their word for it, you start to, like if you start to repeat them, you sound like an asshole idiot.
Right.
Because it's like, this is like, oh, that's a one size fits all solution to like, you know, if you're in a relationship, no one talks to your girl. It's like, well, no.
Well, it's ironic, right? Because like the whole thought process behind that is that you're going to be like more powerful, right? When like behaving this way actually just shows that you're extremely insecure.
And weak. You know, like,
weak and insecure, but it's like you're trying so hard to prove that you're not.
Right. The only thing that I could like, you know, where I look to her, like we're speaking to the emailer. Like if I'm in the position of feeling jealous of a woman and her friend, which I'm not above, like I've felt that way.
As if I felt jealous, right?
Right.
Other people.
Hey, and it, you know, listen, understanding someone feeling jealous, like sometimes the way this goes that like, it doesn't sound like it here, but the way it sometimes goes is like you're being crazy. And you're just told you're being crazy while also never like being invited into this world with this person and their friend. So it's like...
It doesn't sound like she said that though.
No. I'm saying she's not doing... I'm saying like in this scenario, I'm saying if I was to go back, I'd say like, you know, like if I was to say to her, like what should have been done, I'm introducing them as quickly as possible. As friends before this.
I don't even think I would get there. I think it would be like his reaction to the coffee thing would be also just like the fact that he's like he's saying that she's the one who asked him for coffee. He's saying that by accepting
it's
the coffee
crazy.
offer, this guy sounds like he has like some mental instability.
Right. The specifics of it make it seem like there was no salvaging, but like she, you know, I guess like
I see what if you're dealing with a more normal person.
Like, like if you have a friend, like can men and women be friends? Is like the craziest question that gets asked a lot, and it's like yes, of course. Like hey, well, what happens in in the larger company? Are you getting together? Are you keeping these two separate? If you keep anyone separate from your significant other, there's going to be a problem. Right. You know, like if
but also it's like a group chat. I don't think I would need to invite my boyfriend into the group chat.
No. I'm just saying like, yeah, I gossip with this guy. You've met him. Like, you know, like it shouldn't even be a thing, the group chat. Like, yeah, that's my buddy from college. We text all the time. Like I have a number of female friends, you know, like I don't even know how to explain my female friends to people. I'm like, oh, this is my friend. You know what I mean? Like when this question comes up though, like that's why I'm like,
no, totally. And I actually think a little jealousy is kind of cute.
Nothing wrong.
A little jealousy can be like, endearing. Like
some ribbing.
Oh, like who's the guy? Like, well, you were getting coffee. What's this guy? Well,
what's the deal? Yeah, right. Are you, like even the joke of like, people make jokes when they're secure, or I guess
insecure. You know what I'm saying? Like a little like, oh, like. And you can like sort of like say your insecurity through a joke if you don't want to be like the most vulnerable you can. Most people like get it and they're like, don't worry. But this is not, a little jealousy is cute. A lot of jealousy is like to me, like a deal breaker, huge turnoff, and feels like, because nothing's more of a turnoff than like extreme insecurity. And that's what extreme jealousy feels like.
Well, it actually feels like a religion. Like the way he talks about how men and women should interact, and like, it's like he's quoting scripture.
Right, the code.
Yeah, and it's like him even approaching him at this party is like off. And it's, again, one size fits all for anything is like not the way to go. Mm-hmm. And that's like, I'm speaking to nobody because this guy isn't the one who emailed us. Like if it was him emailing us, it maybe me should, and speaking to her, yeah, you made the right decision to end it. Like, again, we've said that, but it's like, the idea of like, how do I present my, I would, and she says the guy's not talking to her. I would go to my friend and be like, hey, I just want to like smooth things over and just let you know, like, I'm sorry. And like, I was dating someone who was immature and couldn't handle like me having a male friend.
Yeah.
Like, and
totally.
that's no fault of yours. And I hope that, over time we can like be back to where we were because I enjoy our friendship.
I'm sorry he made you feel uncomfortable.
Right. That's a way to go to him.
Yeah.
I would understand that she feels a little stupid. She's like, I dated this guy that was like
it's like embarrassing. Like,
right. I would be
like
more embarrassed.
At everyone? Yeah.
Right. I would be more embarrassed by that boyfriend than a lot of different boyfriends that we hear embarrassment about.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got dumped by this guy. Yeah, that happens. Like,
right.
Like, oh, I had this raging, jealous loser that I was dating. I'd be like, oh, what's your pick?
Right. Like, yeah, right. Like, why did you even like this guy?
Right.
I could agree.
So I hope that's helpful. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Let's play some games. Red flag or deal breaker. We love this game. If you're new to the show, you're dating someone, everything's going great. They do one thing. Is it a red flag? You see it, move on. Is it a deal breaker? I got to get rid of this person.
Yes.
Ready?
The rules are clear.
Thanks for all that you do. Long-time listener, first time writing in. I'll get straight to the point. I need your take on a red flag or deal breaker. He's 30 years old and doesn't own a toilet plunger. Every time the toilet gets clogged up, he calls maintenance to come and unclog it. My sister just revealed this fact about her boyfriend, who seems lovely in every other way. It's only a red flag for her since he has since gone and bought a toilet plunger and does the manual labor himself now, but wanted to get the official opinions of the people who know best. She came to the worst place to ask this question.
You think?
Like if we were like salt of the earth, Midwest, we use our hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
to me, I'm like,
Cornhusker.
I could totally see how a guy could get to 30 and not own a toilet plunger.
I am 39, sitting here in front of you.
No plunger?
No plunger.
No plunger. Well, you've never lived in your
Yeah, but this guy is the same. This guy calls maintenance. Yeah, he lives in a building with a maintenance guy. This is what you do when you live in a building. They take care of these things for you. They are there to like fix what happens around the apartment. That's like the hard part of moving out on your own.
Yeah.
This is something you've talked about. You get a new house, lot to do. I mean, I have a plunger. But here's the thing. The plunger I think I would do myself, or I would have Mike do. Probably do it myself if it was me. But in terms of like my hair, which clogs the bathtub all the time, I will usually get maintenance to do that. Well,
so I think it's kind of the same thing.
Totally. Well, I get, it's funny, like, to defend this guy, okay? Listen, she's probably like, if it clogs all the time, why don't you have a plunger? Well, he's now newly dating your sister. He never had all this hair clogging shit up. Maybe that's part of it.
In the toilet?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like...
She's just flushing all her tampons down there.
Yeah, tampons. She takes a huge dump. You don't know what this girl's doing.
You never know, yeah.
But I understand, like, to me, him not having a plunger, like, it seems as though she has an issue with calling someone to do it for her.
This would be like easy fix also. If this bothered me, I would be like,
right.
I can fix this. We'll figure it out.
This isn't skipping the family vacation.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, yeah. No.
All right. Let's do
total red flag. If a woman emailed this podcast about all the things I call manlier men to do for me, I'm in trouble.
So she doesn't have a plunger. You're fine with that?
No, yeah.
So she doesn't have a toilet brush.
A toilet brush. I would love a toilet brush to be in, but I wouldn't care.
Would you buy her one?
No, I'd just sit there using my hand to scrub. Like flush and scrub. That's the move. You got to flush, let the water go down, go in with the tissue paper.
I think there's a little thing, like it's kind of a cute thing when you like start dating someone and they don't have something that you think is an obvious thing to have.
That's nice to hear.
And they bring it to you. I think it's kind of cute.
Right.
Like Mike did that with me, I think, with like placemats.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a random one to bring to you. That's nice of him.
Yeah.
Thoughtful.
He's like, yeah, you don't have placemats.
I had a girlfriend do that once with a toothbrush. She was like, you need a toothbrush.
You didn't notice?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like if someone, let's say someone brought a plunger to your apartment.
I'd be like, thank you. What are you trying to tell me?
And she would tell you.
All right, let's do one more.
Okay.
J&J love the pod and y'all's advice. My fiance, 27 male, and I, 27 female, have been together since 2020, engaged since this year. We started dating in the summer of 2020, so by Christmas time of that year, we were about 6 months into the relationship, and it was our first gift-giving holiday together. We never really had the conversation about our plans, and I genuinely didn't really know how to bring it up. So, in the type A way I do like to do things, I just sent him a list from my notes app of all the things I would like for my gifts. He was super icked out at the time, and I even saw in his text that he'd bring it up with his friends because they both thought it was entitled.
How did you see this in his text?
This was, went looking.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it at all because this is how my family has always done it. To this very day, my siblings and I will just shoot each other a list of things we want and pick items to get for each other from it for all holidays, birthdays, etc. We find it to be the easiest way to make sure we actually get the things that we like. For context, growing up, we would either do the lists or our parents would just take us to the mall and we would pick out everything we wanted for our gifts and just buy it then and there on Christmas Eve. That's not really kind of going through the sale bin at that point.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are fine now and have found an efficient way to go about gift giving that works for both of us. But what do you guys think? Is sending a gift list to your significant other a red flag or a deal breaker? Signed, a Grinch who stole Christmas Betch.
This is funny.
I love this email.
Yeah.
Because this is like kind of how we started this podcast. The nature of like how you're brought up and then being put together with someone that's brought up differently than you.
This is my Christmas every year.
Right. You have. So how do you guys do it? Is there a list sent to each other?
Well, my situation with him is a little different in that like he wants me to make a list to give to his parents. And I remember when we first started dating, I'm like, I'm not writing a fucking list of gifts for your mom to buy me. That's like weird.
Right.
Right. It wasn't like him sending me a list of things to get him, which I think would be like a little more tacky.
Hey, make a list, Jordana. My parents want to get you something.
Right. Where it's more like the way they do it is like Christmas, you get gifts from every single person. And they're like, the whole family sends each other lists so that you can get the things on your list. And I'm like, this seems like...
This is so stressful.
It's extremely stressful because you have to find like the price point of like completely, do you know what I mean? Like something that like does not seem like you're asking for a lot, but also is like in line with everyone else. It's the most stressful part of the whole year for me.
I would opt out. I'd just be like, no, I'm not.
You can't. You can't. That's, believe me, we've had this back and forth all the time. And I mean, in the beginning it felt weird. Now it's like less weird because I just know how things work. But in the beginning, I remember like year or two of dating, I'm going to his house for Christmas. I'm like, do you think I'm writing a list of like of items for your parents to buy me? Like, you're crazy. Like, that's not
absolutely crazy.
That's crazy.
I can't think of anything I would.
That would make me less that would make me more uncomfortable.
I'll take nothing. Yes. That would be my message.
That's even worse, though.
Right.
That's even worse.
Well, then because it's also the expectation of like I have to get someone from their list.
Well, he's good about that. He's like he takes care of like the gifts on our behalf.
I like that.
But we're still going to be getting. He's basically like they're going to get you gifts. So like you just dive in. Just write it because like they're going to get you gifts, and unless you want like a pile of shit that's like you don't have no desire for, you'll write the list.
Right. This is so
it is such a family thing.
And
it's
like
so weird to me.
It is funny to me. The red flag or deal breaker, like she's just like, yeah, this is what we do. Here's my list. Right. And like she, in her mind, she's making it easy on him.
Would you like that in some ways?
You know,
she's like let's say you had a girlfriend. She was like, my birthday's coming up. Here's a list of 5 things that I would love.
See, I understand his position. Like to me, this takes to have the kids run around the mall like it's supermarket sweep. And like pick out gifts on Christmas Eve. Like, what are we even doing here then?
I agree. It defeats the whole purpose.
The whole purpose.
Well, that's why I'm like, if we're all making lists, why don't we just buy ourselves the thing on our own list, and then not buy anything for anyone else?
Right. We couldn't really make this efficient. Yeah. Right. And to me, you've taken away. It's like picking out the ring that you want for the engagement.
I think this is worse than that.
I totally agree. It's worse, but like you have to let people have ownership of
pick something about the gift.
Right. Like let me feel involved. You know, I think to him, and I would agree with him, like this feels like we've like really lost the meaning of Christmas. Like to send me like if you know what you want, go get it your fucking self. Like I have thoughts about you. Like I have a feeling about you. I wanted.
The whole point is that you thought of me in this way.
This is kind of where you come back to like, this is where someone who's like this capitalistic society built on consumerism, someone who talks like that, I wouldn't want to like hang out with them.
Right.
But they have a point here. Like we've left the Christmas one
Spirit.
Gift. Let me get one thing for you. No, send me your list of 30 things. It's like crazy. Like to get someone a gift, I would get them one thing.
Right. But would you like if they helped you out a little bit?
I guess I would like it. I'm not a gift. I'm bad at gift receiving. Mm-hmm. I like gift giving more than I like gift receiving. But when I get a gift that like is really thoughtful to my life, I really feel special.
That's the whole point,
right?
Though, that someone thought of you in that way. It wouldn't feel the same if you told them to get it for you.
Right. That you've sucked the life out of it to me.
Right.
So I don't think this is wrong because it's just very like.
I hate gifts for occasions too. To me, that's like it also defeats the purpose. Like I'm getting you this because every Christmas I get you a gift, and I had this fight with Mike actually too because of the different, like where I've said. Like, if I want something for like my birthday, but I need, let's say I wanted a travel backpack or something, and I was going on a big trip. My birthday's in September. Going on a big trip in June. Just get me a gift, and you have an idea of like a thoughtful thing to get me this travel backpack.
Right.
Give it to me in June. Call it my birthday. I don't need a gift on my birthday. Whereas his family is very much like, no, like you need to have something to open on your birthday. I'm like, that's crazy.
This is the whole, there's no right or wrong answer. Like I'm with you. Like wait till your birthday to me is like insanity. Like
it's like childish, I think.
Childish, like how much more special is it? Trip's coming up. I was at I thought of you.
And you need you're about
I
on
know
this
you
moment.
Not liked the old backpack you had. You know, it's funny, like Candace was joking, you never bring us back anything from when I travel.
Yeah.
And I do have a moment where I feel bad because I'm like, that would have been nice of me to like think of everyone here with like a specific Raleigh gift that I could have came back with. And then every time I go away, I totally forget. And I'm like, wouldn't that be funny and nice if I brought back something for the whole team?
Yeah.
And then I don't
do it.
And then
it's okay. I never bring back anything from my travels either.
Right. I don't. To me, it's more opportunity missed than.
Well, to me,
I'm an evil piece of shit.
I don't want you to like be scoping out the airport for a gift to bring the team, right? Like to me, the best part of getting a gift is like I was out, I saw this thing, and I was like, wouldn't that be perfect?
Wow, this person is going to be so happy.
Right.
So I guess the message to this red flag or deal breaker emailer.
Gifts under duress are horrible. Personally,
like here's the list. Get it done, bitch. Like I would say to her, you know, it might be fun for your significant other, your fiance, if you guys like had your list gifts. Like if you have 10 things on your list,
sure.
How about we cut it down to 5, and then you say maybe one thing on your list is this year's specialty thing, and you put like a spending cap on it, and you say $40,
right? And it's
thoughtful. This is something that's thoughtful. It's the year 2024 gift, something we've talked about this year, something that makes you think of our relationship. I think that would be like a beautiful thing for a couple to do and fun.
Yeah, that's why I like a card.
Yeah, the card, I don't know.
A card, I'm like, that's a forced, thoughtful gift.
Right, that is.
Because you know what I mean? I'm not like, it's not like expensive. I'm like, I want you to put the thought into writing the card.
Here's the 5 things I want and the card. Write it well. That's kind of what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell them what to put in it.
Write it well. You've already made that standard clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
we did it.
We head into holiday season. We fixed dating again.
Look at us.
We have to give a special goodbye
to
our producer, Belle. It was a short but sweet stint here with the U Up podcast. Thank you for all that you did for us here. You move on.
Thank you.
Yes.
For all that you did for me.
Okay.
Making me laugh.
Thank you.
Every Wednesday and Friday.
Oh, and I'm sure you'll be listening along, I hope. So,
I'm sure you're subscribed and liked on YouTube and all those things.
Yeah. And
but good luck with everything. You were great to have here as part of the show, and onward and upward. So
and thank you for everything.
Otherwise, we'll be back next on Friday with
Friday Fuel.
Boom.
The U Up podcast is produced by Belle Roman and Candice Maniga. Edited by Belle Roman. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. VP of podcast is Chris Allen. And be sure to follow U Up at u.up.podcast.